The myth of Eros and Psyche. The myth of Eros and Psyche is one of the most beautiful and profound tales in Greek mythology. It tells a story of love, overcoming obstacles, fidelity, and the soul's eternal quest for harmony. This narrative holds philosophical significance and reflects key aspects of human experience, such as love, trials, and spiritual growth. The plot of the myth. Psyche was a mortal woman of extraordinary beauty, as if nature had created her to surpass all mortals. Her face radiated like the light of the moon, and her figure was so flawless that anyone who saw her was left in awe, forgetting all else. News of her beauty spread rapidly across the land, attracting crowds from near and far. People came not only from neighboring villages, but also from distant lands to behold this earthly goddess. Before long, the reverence for Psyche grew to a level that threatened the worship of Aphrodite. People began honoring Psyche as if she were a true goddess, leaving flowers and offerings at her home. Aphrodite's temples fell into neglect. Altars were left without incense, and rituals went unattended. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, could not tolerate such an affront. For her, it was not only humiliating, but also dangerous. She feared that the neglect of her cult would diminish her divine power. In her fury, she decided to punish Psyche, demonstrating to mortals that no earthly beauty could rival the divine. Aphrodite summoned her son, Eros, the god of love, renowned for his ability to influence hearts. She ordered him to find Psyche and strike her with one of his magical arrows. These arrows held the power to cause anyone they struck to feel an overwhelming passion for the first being they saw. Aphrodite's plan was cruel. She intended for Psyche to fall in love with the most hideous creature on earth, a monster no one could ever love. This, she believed, would destroy not only Psyche's reputation, but also her life. Eros, though a dutiful son, was captivated by Psyche's beauty when he approached her to carry out his mother's command. She seemed not just beautiful, but utterly enchanting, awakening emotions in him that he had never known before. When Eros saw Psyche, she was asleep. Her serene face and perfect features stunned him. Holding his arrow, he hesitated, and instead of piercing her, he accidentally pricked himself. The magic of his own arrow caused him to fall deeply in love with the very woman he was meant to harm. Unable to hurt Psyche, Eros resolved to protect her. Knowing his mother would be enraged, he decided to keep his feelings secret. He vowed to shield Psyche from any danger while hiding his involvement. Despite her dazzling beauty, Psyche was deeply unhappy. Her beauty attracted countless admirers, but none dared to marry her. People revered her as a goddess, but no one saw her as a woman who could be a wife. Her fame became a curse, isolating her from a normal human life. Meanwhile, Psyche's older sisters, possessing ordinary beauty, married respectable men and enjoyed happy family lives. Psyche's parents, worried for their youngest daughter's future, sought guidance from an oracle. The oracle's response was cryptic and terrifying. It foretold that Psyche would not marry a mortal man. Her destiny was to become the bride of a dreadful creature awaiting her atop a mountain. The oracle's words sounded like a death sentence, and Psyche's parents, unable to defy the gods, prepared to fulfill this decree. With heavy hearts, Psyche's parents escorted her to the mountain, as if leading her to a sacrificial altar. They bid her farewell in tears, pleading with the gods to soften her fate. Left alone, Psyche awaited her doom, but instead, a miracle occurred. The west wind, Zephyrus, gently lifted her like a feather and carried her to a magical palace where her new life would begin. Here is the English translation of your text, carefully adapted to sound natural and clear for native speakers while retaining its original meaning and depth. When Psyche awoke, she found herself in a magnificent palace unlike anything she had ever seen. Every corner glimmered with luxury. The walls sparkled with gold and precious gems. The air was filled with the scent of flowers, and gentle music played in the distance. This place seemed fit for the gods, not for mortals. She heard a voice, gentle and caring, though it had no physical form. Invisible servants welcomed her, offering her rest, food, and all the pleasures one could imagine. Psyche gradually grew accustomed to this strange yet enchanting place. At night, her husband came to her. He remained unseen and mysterious, yet he was kind and attentive. His voice and touch filled her with confidence and peace. However, he imposed one condition: she must never attempt to see his face. Psyche agreed, though curiosity began to stir in her heart. The first days and nights in the palace were blissful. Psyche felt loved and protected. But soon doubt crept into her mind. Why did her husband hide his face? Could he be the monster the oracle had foretold? These thoughts deepened when her sisters came to visit. Upon seeing Psyche's wealth, her sisters could not conceal their envy. They questioned her about her husband, and, learning that she had never seen him, convinced her that he was likely a monster. They painted horrifying pictures of what might await her and persuaded her that she needed to uncover the truth. Her sisters advised her to light a lamp at night to see who her husband truly was. They also gave her a dagger in case her fears proved true and she needed to defend herself. Distraught by their words, Psyche decided to follow their advice. That fateful night, as her husband slept, Psyche quietly got out of bed. She lit a lamp to finally see the one she shared her nights with. The light revealed not a monster, but a beautiful young man. It was Eros, the god of love. His face was so divine that Psyche froze in awe of his celestial beauty. But her admiration was short-lived. As she leaned closer, a drop of hot oil from the lamp fell on Eros's shoulder. He awoke and, seeing Psyche with the lamp and dagger, realized her betrayal. Her curiosity had shattered the trust between them. Eros, heartbroken, told her that love could not exist without trust. He left her, abandoning her alone in the palace. Overcome with grief, Psyche's heart broke. She realized that her doubts and weakness had destroyed everything she had. Determined not to accept this separation, Psyche set out to find Eros. She wandered the earth, enduring hardships and dangers, driven by a single goal: to atone for her mistakes and win back her love. Her journey was long and filled with trials. The trials of Psyche. Seeking help, Psyche turned to Aphrodite, begging for her assistance in reuniting with Eros. Still bitter about Psyche's beauty and newfound status, the goddess agreed, but imposed a series of seemingly impossible tasks. Yet, with the help of nature and compassionate beings, Psyche overcame every challenge. The first trial. Aphrodite demanded that Psyche sort an enormous pile of mixed grains, barley, wheat, poppy seeds, lentils, and more by morning. The task seemed impossible for a mortal. As Psyche gazed despairingly at the heap, ants came to her aid. Taking pity on her, they swiftly separated the grains by type. By dawn the work was done, and Psyche presented the sorted grains to Aphrodite. This trial symbolizes patience, meticulous effort, and the unexpected help we receive from unlikely allies. The second trial. Aphrodite instructed Psyche to collect golden fleece from fierce sheep grazing in a nearby valley. These sheep were not ordinary. They were aggressive and dangerous, their golden wool gleaming like sunlight. At the riverbank, Psyche heard a voice, perhaps from the reeds or the river itself, warning her not to approach the sheep during the day when they were most violent. Instead, she was advised to wait until sunset when the sheep rested. Following this guidance, Psyche gathered strands of golden fleece caught on bushes and branches. This trial teaches the value of wisdom, timing, and careful strategy over brute force. The third trial. Psyche was tasked with retrieving water from the Styx, a sacred and forbidden river that flowed through the underworld. Its waters were guarded by terrifying dragons, and the source lay atop an unreachable peak. As Psyche approached the Styx, she realized the danger was insurmountable. Just then, an eagle swooped down, took the vessel from her hands, and flew to the source. Dodging the dragons, the eagle collected the water and returned it to Psyche. This trial highlights the need for assistance from those stronger or more capable and the importance of perseverance. The final trial. Aphrodite's last and most perilous task was for Psyche to descend into the underworld and bring back a portion of Persephone's divine beauty. Uncertain how to reach the underworld, Psyche considered ending her life to gain entry. However, a tower spoke to her, offering detailed instructions. How to pass safely through the gates of the underworld, how to avoid traps such as the pleas of the dead or the temptation to share her bread. How to present offerings to Charon, the ferryman, and Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Psyche successfully reached Persephone, obtained the beauty-filled box, and began her journey back. Yet curiosity overcame her. She opened the box, hoping to use some of the beauty for herself. Instead of beauty, the box contained a deadly curse that plunged her into a deep sleep. This trial reflects the power of human curiosity and its potential consequences, but also underscores redemption and second chances. Conclusion. Eros, still in love with Psyche, saved her by awakening her with his touch. He appealed to Zeus, who agreed to help. Zeus granted Psyche immortality, allowing her to join Eros on Mount Olympus. On Olympus, Zeus blessed their union, and even Aphrodite ceased her opposition. Psyche and Eros found eternal happiness, and later had a daughter named Hedon, meaning joy. The myth of Eros and Psyche is not only a tale of love, but also a profound allegory of human experience. It reminds us that true happiness is achieved through trials and perseverance, and that the union of soul and love leads to harmony. This myth offers inspiration and wisdom for daily life. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video.